Um, Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all well. I think we are going to give a few more minutes to let everyone else join. But before that, I'd just like to thank you all for making time and availing yourselves to be in this meeting. And yeah, I think we'll start in a few minutes. Let's just let it get to 3:10 and to 10 minutes past your time, and then we'll start. Thank you. Um, okay, since time is also very much running out and we want to respect everyone's time, I think we can start. Since you already know each other, I think just do a round of check-in. So, your name, how your week has been, and how you are feeling uh, about joining this meeting this afternoon. Yeah. So I think I'll guide it because everyone's list is looking differently, and because yeah, just to have some centrality. I'll start with. Should I start or do I go last? Let me start just to set the tone. Hi everyone, my name is Charlotte, and I'm so happy to be here this afternoon. Um, I'm happy that we are also resuming our learning lessons and our sessions. And I'm so glad to be here. I cannot wait to brainstorm and to learn more about leadership. And my week has been great. Thank you all. Next, we'll go to Binta. Binta, if you can unmute and yeah.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Um, my name is Binta Suleiman, from Nigeria. I'm happy to be here. Just as Charlotte has said, I'm also happy to continue our learning on leadership. My day has been raining. It's been raining since morning, so it's rainy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Binta. Hey, we hope to see the sun soon. Next, we'll go to Deborah.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Go on.
Okay. My name is Deborah Adbola. Actually, it has been raining since yesterday. So my day is going well, and I'm so excited to meet everybody once again after a long time. and I'm hoping to build my capacity more on leadership and then to get to understand more on our meeting today. And I hope we all have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Debbie, and welcome to the meeting. Next we'll go to Elizabeth.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Elizabeth Joju from Nigeria, and it has been raining since yesterday as well. My day has been fine and going smoothly, and I also want to learn more on leadership, and it's nice to also hear from everyone as well. Thank you.
Welcome to the meeting. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It's been raining, huh? Back in Kenya, it's chilled, but there's also some sun. Next we'll go to Loveth.
Hi everyone. Hello everyone. My name is Lovett. I'm happy to be here. I can't wait to learn and unlearn about more on leadership. My day has been so cool. It has been raining here since morning, so the weather is so cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, and welcome so much to the session. Next we'll have Natasha.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Thank you. My name is Natasha Seketa from Zambia. My week has been quite hectic, very busy, but okay. I'm excited to be back to learning. Coincidentally, a picture that I took in Nigeria with Mam Maureen Murenga popped up on my phone earlier today, and then the reminder came that we had this session. So I'm really excited. It's always inspiring to hear from her and learn from her, and also learn from all the other women in this academy. So I'm really, really excited to be back and just to learn more and also contribute from this academy as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Natasha. What are the odds? Wow, that's called alignment. Next, we'll have Aura.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Oh, I'm also happy to be here. Happy to hear from you guys. It's long time. I'm happy to hear that we are all fine. And I'm also happy to resume our learning on leadership. My week has been good, though a bit hectic, but I can't complain. It has been good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope it will be easier as time goes, especially next week for you. But thank you so much for joining. Next, we'll have Rabia.
Hello and habari everyone. This is Rabia Abed Haji speaking from Tanzania. It's so pleasure to have you all today, and I've been a little bit up and down here in Dodoma, supporting some colleagues here under the OVC program. So it's cool. So, but I'll be going back to Kahama where I always stay tonight. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Rabia. And we wish you safe travels when you go back to Kahama. Thank you also for joining the meeting. We'll go to Francisca.
Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Francisca Ohembi from Lawyer Salat, Nigeria. I'm very happy to be here to continue with our leadership journey. though the week has been a lot of emotional ups and downs for me because I miss my brother. But I'm fine and I'm okay. We keep pushing. So I'm very happy to be here once again. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you too for joining. We're glad to have you around. If you have joined and are named under Zoom user, kindly rename yourself so that we'll be able to connect easily. Next, we'll go to Ivana.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, it's Ivana from Cameroon. I went up countries for holidays, and there's a lot of power shortage, so I am in a noisy place to be able to take this call. But my week has been peaceful since I'm in holidays, enjoying my time up country, and I'm very happy to resume with the academy, and I'm eager for today's conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ivana. We hope that Paul will be back soon. And we're also so happy to have you in the meeting and resume our learning together. Next, we'll have Albertina.
Thank you so much. I'm fine. I'm having a little bit of a flu. In my week, it has been busy. I was in the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Albertina. We hope that you get better soon and that your workflow gets easier as time goes by. We're glad to have you in the meeting today. And did I miss anyone? I think. Oh, Kaimana.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, how is everyone doing?
We're
Obviously,
fine.
good to be back to the academy. It feels like it's been a while, and I'm just happy to be back. My weekend has been good. It's just the usual work and school combined, nothing intense.
Thank you so much for joining. We're glad to have you here as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't think I've missed anyone else. So I will go to, yeah, we'll have Kevin say hi.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Charlotte.
Hi, Kevin.
Yeah, so Nairobi has been chilly and a little bit of sunshine, but I know it's an inspiring city as always. So today I'm feeling motivated, and I believe that this is the perfect time for growing, thriving, and transforming as per the topic.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to learn, pick up very many insights, and also learn from all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kevin. We're glad to have you here with us as well. Next, we'll go to Millicent.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be in this call. CI of late have been very cold, unlike other days. But anyway, we are trying to adapt like the Nairobi people. Otherwise, I'm very optimistic about this call, very, very much, because I want to hear what it is all about, how people are going on with their leadership objectives in their various countries. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Millicent. Welcome to the meeting. You'll just get used to the need. You'll adjust to the weather. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Next, we'll have Beryl, who will tell us how she's feeling, how she's joining as she ushers the facilitator today. Thank you. Beryl?
Hi, everyone. I hope you're able to hear me.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining. I'm really glad to meet all of us again after a period of after some period. I'm joining in this call today with optimism and also a mindset that is ready to be elevated and thrive. Yeah, and I just want to thank all of us for getting time and joining in this call today. I'm also glad to hear that you're doing well from your various spaces, and even as Nigeria, I've heard that you are it's raining. Here in Kenya, Nairobi, it's cold, really cold. So I'm so glad. Albertina, we wish you a quick recovery. And also Ivana, as she's home, also we wish that you get to have the power back. But all in all, it's such a nice time for us to join in today, and we really have a lot lined up for us. There are really a lot, and 2 hours of a call is never enough, but we try as much as possible. I've been trying to reach some of us. I don't know what could be the problem, but if you are able to send a reminder to anybody from your country or a cohort member whom you are with in the same country, please do so that they also get to join. I understand Simpiwe is having problems with connecting. She'll be joining in a few. I saw Charity at some point. I don't know if there is anybody here from Uganda who is able to reach out to her, but I'm sure she will get to join again. I've not been able to see Sheirat. She's been off for quite some time, and Ntabeleng as well. So if you guys are able to reach them through their since you're in the same country, connected to the same network, please send them a reminder. This is very important. They shouldn't miss on this. Who else? Yeah, and also from Nigeria, please reach out to Olome. I hope I've sounded it right. Abiola, that is how I always see it easily. Please try and reach out to her as well to join in this call. Yes. So as we wait for our facilitator today, she had just dropped. She's working on her internet as we wait for her. I want to thank first of all, before we join in, I just want to thank all of us who have been for the past 1 week, we have been sending the emails on the peer review. Thank you so much for sending in your reviewers, and I hope we have gotten the emails, and the people whom we sent have also received the emails for your leadership review. And also for those who have been working on doing the ECOS, I really understand there are some of us who are having challenges, and as they say, technology is a good servant but a very bad master. It's something we are trying to adapt with. I know we are having challenges. We are really working on it as it had challenges before. So thank you so much. And still, if you're experiencing any difficulty, just please reach out. As much as we know, sometimes we try and then we just get to have challenges, but please reach out. And in case you have any difficulty in terms of the ECOS and everything, just reach out to us. Another thing, please, because I know by the time we're finishing the call, we might not be able, from your various networks, as I have a number of us here whom we have finished the ECOS. The ECOS was supposed to be shared, to be done by the larger network, the networks that you work with, your friends, your family members. Please share the ECOS link with your friends, share them with your networks, share them so that they can also also be able to learn. It is open to everyone to do the course. So please do share the link to the eCourse with your network so that they can also do the course and gain that wealth of knowledge from around TB and gender. Yeah, so I'll go ahead. I don't know if there's anybody who has joined later, but I'll go ahead and share my screen on the presentation as we wait for Maureen to join in. Just a few minutes. Thank you.
Hi, Beryl. Please put the presentation mode.
All right, yeah. Thank you so much, Maureen. Maureen is back. Yeah, Maureen, you can go ahead and welcome to the call. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I am in Malawi and I was at this place where the internet just went shoop. So I've found another spot that is having some internet. So I'm hoping that we will finish this call with the internet on. So thank you very much for joining. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes, we can, Maureen.
Okay, so thank you very much, 16 participants. Yay. So we will just begin. I think my week was good. A bit of challenges here and there, which we now face as civil society, from funding to shrinking spaces to being fought by government to, it's just a myriad of challenges we are facing. But again, we are resilient and we will overcome even this one. So thank you very much. Today, we are still continuing with authentic leadership. And today we are going to talk about leading with a purpose. Lead with a purpose. Next slide, Beryl. So today, at the end of this session, we will define what it means to lead with a purpose in our advocacy work. We'll identify our personal leadership purpose and values. We'll apply authentic leadership principles to overcome health access barriers. And then we'll develop action steps for purpose-driven community advocacy. When you lead with a purpose, I always tell people, some of us became leaders by proxy. You are born into leadership. You are the first daughter. And then, of course, you have to be, you're told you need to watch when you go out to play with your siblings, you just don't play blindly. You need to watch over them. And then you go to school and you're in Kenya, we call them prefects. I don't know, nowadays they're called governors. You become a prefect in your school. Again, that's a leadership role. And then you go to work and you're given a promotion, or you are leading the peer support group, or you just become a leader, but you find yourself in leadership like you didn't plan to be a leader. And therefore your leadership is a roller coaster. You just move with the tide. You are not intentional. So today we are going to talk about being a bit more intentional in our leadership style. And that's why we are discussing the issue around being intentional, being authentic, knowing very well I'm doing this and I'm doing it with a purpose, and I know why I am a leader in this area where you've been given, so that you're able to get results. And I'm not saying that the way we've been leading has been bad, but no, we just found ourselves. Now we want to be more intentional. So I'd ask people to mute their mics so that we don't have an echo. Just press it. Next slide, Beryl. No, this one we have passed because the introduction has been has been done. But I just want you to write on chat one single word that best describes your advocacy work. Just one word. Don't do two words. Don't do, I don't know, attached words with a hyphen. Just one word put on chat that makes or describes your advocacy work. Keep them coming. Okay, so let me see what we have. Let me see what we have. Challenging, Yvonne, why Ivy, challenging. Love it. You put two words, so I'll pick one. Intentional. Binta, resilience. Albertina, voice. Jaoko, demanding. Kaimana, passionate. Natasha, bold. I don't know if that is Charlotte, inclusive. Deborah, engaging. Love it, focus. Aura, demanding. So we all feel the different ways. Some people feel leadership is demanding because a lot of it is expected from you. Some people just come to work at 8, at 5 they leave, but you have to pick up all the missing pieces of the puzzle and put them all together as a leader. Yours is not as smooth as everyone else. Love it, you mean focus. You have to be focused. You have to look at where you're taking your team. Ohembe, reformist. Rabia, interactive. You want to listen to the people you're leading, and all these are really a good leadership skill. They're good leadership traits. And from what I have seen from all of you, you have a purpose. You have a purpose for your leadership. And of course, you're also noticing some of the things that are happening within your leadership, such as Ivy noticing the challenges, Binta deciding to be very resilient. So leading with a purpose we are going to tackle all this. So next slide. So what is leading with a purpose? It means using your personal mission and values to guide your actions. So initially when we began this section when we began the section of authentic leadership, we were talking about understanding self-leadership. And some of you are filling in the surveys and you're looking yourself through those questions. It's like a mirror of some sort. So you're understanding the leadership. So understanding yourself as a leader. The first critique or the first praiser of your leadership is you. So you have to understand who you are. And then when you lead up with a purpose, it means you have a personal mission. I lead this support group. What is my mission with this support group? To empower all these women to be able to overcome all the challenges and access health services. What are the values that guide you? You are empathetic. Some people say they are sympathetic. Some people say they are understanding. Some people say they listen. So those are the values that you add to your mission. And then the actions are what you do. What do you do to make sure that you're actually leading people towards where you want to go, that you're actually inspiring others towards a positive change. So it is not about perfection. It's about authenticity, about being authentic. I don't know how who can give me another word for authentic on chat? It's about being intentional in what you're doing. So don't ever think it is about being perfect. None of us is perfect. We all learn. Even me, I learn as the days go by. And then when you're leading with purpose, your lived experience are a source of strength, not weakness. So don't say I was bullied, I was body shamed, I was cyberbullied, so I don't think I want to do this anymore. No, that bully should be your source of strength and not weakness. All the challenges, all the successes you have received, those are your living experiences, and they should form part of your strength. So when you're leading with the purpose, it means you're connected to your why, even when facing challenges. Your eyes is on the prize. I want to ensure that these programs that are responding to health, maybe HIV, TB, or malaria, actually consider the challenges women face and are able to be designed in a way that reduces these challenges. So even if I go to the Ministry of Health and then they hate me, I go to this organization, they don't invite me to their meetings anymore, I will stay focused to addressing these challenges. So you never give up on your why. So I want us to share just a few people to raise your hand on chat and share with us one moment when you felt proud of your advocacy work and what values you are expressing in that moment. So just 2 people, because of time, to share with us that one moment. Just come to the moment, don't give a long story, of when you really felt proud of yourself and what values you are expressing during that moment. You can raise your hand. TB women, you have never felt proud about your advocacy work? Yes, Millicent?
Okay, it happened that I had a client and she was showing some signs of mental issues. And what I knew is that her viral load had gone very low. When I took her to the hospital, the nurses insisted that I take her to the psychiatric department. And I stood my ground that she had to be in CC and they had to see her in CC and give her drugs. And I managed.
Yeah, so you stood up for a client who,
yes,
despite the medical, the healthcare providers treating her differently, you stood up for her. So you are empathetic, you listened to her, you supported her, you advocated for her rights. So those were your values. Thank you very much, Millicent. Any other story, success story, something you're proud of?
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, I was trying to raise my hand, but I'm unable to. For me, it's like when I was working with the traditional leaders on issues of bodily autonomy and bodily integrity and the autonomy and integrity for women and girls. Okay, when I went there, I felt like they are going to be negative and they're not going to like what we're going to be saying. So I was so proud when, after speaking, the traditional leaders were understanding what I was saying and were in support of bodily autonomy for women and girls.
Thank you very much, Albertina. And guys, you can hear from both Albertina and Millicent that they stuck to the why. Albertina wanted to address the challenges women have around bodily autonomy. Millicent wanted that one woman to access services. So despite the doubt, they stuck to the why, and they were able to overcome those challenges. So we move to the next slide, Beryl. So we are going to talk about the foundation. So we have to have a foundation, something that really solidifies that gives you, makes you wake up every morning. The pillar that makes you an advocate and makes you want to stay as an advocate. So the foundation could be described by some of the things that happened to us. For example, it could be an experience in your life that led you to advocacy. Like you experienced something and you said, no, I think this ends with me. From today, no other woman will experience what I have experienced. And for that reason, I want to be the voice of women. Oh, I saw a child suffering and dying of malaria, and I said, well, this is the last child that will die of malaria. From today, I will join advocacy and I will make sure that the systems are working for people. Because most of the time, the work we do is to ensure that systems are working for people, that people, regardless of their gender, of where they are able to be treated the same way and to access services and to live healthy lives. So maybe that is the one thing that led you an experience. And maybe another one would be the changes you want to see for women and girls in your community. You listened to your grandmother, the way she suffered and stuff. You listened to your mother and then you said, I'm not going to live that kind of life. I'll be one of the voices. And even if I don't win, my child, if I have a daughter, will not be the one that will live this kind of life where women have no voices. So maybe that is what drove you. That is what forms your foundation. And then another one is like, I think I have a voice. I have a voice. I have a platform. I have followers. So maybe I can use this platform for a positive thing. So that is what really is your foundation, that you have a strength that can help bring change. And that is what drives you. That is what you use. That is the foundation you have for your work. And then it could be different things. So for you, for example, why do you lead? What makes you a leader? What drives you into leadership? So I want you to type on chat, I lead because, and then you put the reason why you lead. Give the reason why you lead on chat. Thank you, Deborah. Please try and put something on chat. Thank you, Kaimana, Natasha. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you, Albertina, Binta, Loveth. So we have seen the different reasons why we are here to lead. And they are diverse. They're as diverse as we are in this group. Thank you, Uhembe. They're as diverse. Guys, you can see why others lead, why your teammates lead. And it shows that we all have a purpose. So next slide, Beryl. So we want to discover some of those leadership purpose in our lives. So the first one is self-awareness. In order to lead with purpose, you must be aware. You must have some self-awareness, knowing your strength, limitation, and triggers. For example, someone can say, like me, I know I'm passionate about maternal health because of my own experience. And sometimes I need to step back and let others lead on different issues. So you'll find that in as much as I'm very passionate about maternal health, I'm not a know-it-all in terms of maternal health. I want to lead, yes. I have lived the experience. There are things I don't want others to go through that I went through. But I also need to step back sometimes and let others take the front step if they are better than me in any area of the maternal health. So you have to be self-aware. You have to know, for example, I'm a good speaker. If I'm going to pitch on maternal health, believe you me, I will get that money. But I'm not good in budgets. So I have to delegate if I have to write a proposal, I have to give someone work to do on budgets. Another one is that I always have a trigger. I get angry so fast, especially when I think people do not want to understand where we are coming from. I'm one of those advocates that can snap anytime and hit the table or jump on the just do something weird. So whenever we are going to a diplomatic place and I know we are going to a difficult person to talk to that person, I usually take a back seat because I know I'll be triggered and the whole group can lose whatever we are going to ask for, especially sometimes when you're dealing with some of the government officials who do not understand the pain of what you have or what you understand. So because I know that there are areas where I know if I go here, I can only maybe introduce myself and what we've come to do. If the conversation becomes heated, I zip my mouth and let someone else talk because I know my limitations and I know my triggers. I know they'll just say this and I'll hit the roof and spoil it we can even be chased out. So you have to be self-aware. What kind of person are you? What are your strengths? Put those ones. What are your limitations? Now, what are your triggers? Let someone take the front line. So that is now leading with the purpose. And then the second one is transparency. Being honest about challenges and mistakes. And let me tell you, this is the most difficult thing to do. Mistakes and challenges, when you're being told this wasn't right. Oh, you're leading us. Where you're taking us is not the right path. The style you are using will not take us where we want to go. So that differs. And I realized we have a group called Gen Z. I knew my HIV status when I was a young woman. Things were different then, not like they are right now. So our testing campaigns were slightly different. And if we do the same testing campaigns, we will not reach the young women right now in the way they are packaged. So when they come back to us and say, oh, excuse me, the way you're doing your campaigns are not reaching us. We don't feel we can't sit under trees and just listen. We want more exciting sessions. We want sessions where we can feel like we can discuss our own issues. So I think as a leader, I would say I admit that I had not listened enough. And then you do what the other person needs. So you have to be very transparent in terms of taking feedback and being honest about the challenges and mistakes, because like I said before, we can't know it all. And making a mistake doesn't mean you're stupid or you're not fit for purpose. We are all fit for purpose, but we have our own unique strengths that we bring. Then, managing competing priorities and self-care. This is something I'm still learning after having a very bad, is it called burnout last December that almost led to depression. And for some days I couldn't get out of bed, and I've been struggling with it. I've been trying to, slow down because sometimes you learn that burning out doesn't help anyone. You cannot be a hero. You cannot do everything. I was trying to do everything and making sure I'm all over. And so right now I've learned how to give others some of the pieces to do. I delegate to Beryl, I delegate to Charlotte, because I know when I get a burnout, I'm not helpful to anyone. Because for 4 days, I could not get out of bed. I used to drag myself to the bathroom to take a bath. I could only take fluids because I could not sit up and eat. My body was tired. My brain was telling me, I'm going to explode or I'm going to die if you don't pay attention to me. So that is what burnout can bring. So as a leader, you have to balance competing priorities and self-care. Take care of yourself. Take a break. You love your community, you love to serve, but it reaches a point where you need to take a break. And then you also have to have moral courage. Standing up for what is right, even if it is difficult. Sometimes it is difficult. You can go to somewhere and start talking about a topic like maybe gender-based violence, and you go to a chief's baraza, we call them barazas, or a gathering of elders, and you tell them there's a lot of gender-based violence here. Women are being beaten by their husband, girls are being raped. And you'll find that they're very uncomfortable because some of them are the perpetrators, but you keep standing up and saying, no, this has to stop. And that is a moral courage, standing up for what is right, even when it is difficult. I was watching some movies, and this is not a good example. This is not a good example at all. But I was just watching how courageous some of the South African women are. I was just watching on TikTok. They're sending away people who are not South Africans, who have taken their jobs, or they believe have taken their jobs. And I don't know if some of you have seen those videos, but they're mostly inclined to Zimbabweans, Nigerians, and Congolese. They're sending them away from their country. And this woman, is being told, what you're doing is wrong. And they're like, no, they've taken our job. So she was standing up. She was really standing up. I liked the standing up, but I didn't like what she was standing up for, because I think there was a better way to handle what she was doing, and it could be handled better with the authorities. Because when one area that hit me so hard was a pregnant woman who wanted to go to hospital, and they told her she could not go to a South African public hospital because she's not South African. And I think she was a Nigerian, and she was pregnant, and she had to deliver on the road, and she died, and later the baby died. So that I felt, for a woman, So the moral courage, and that is why we are calling it not just courage, but moral courage. It has to be something moral. It has to be something human. So you get up that courage and stand up for what is right. Even if you are the one standing alone, you stand up for what is right. I know sometimes you are compromised. They scare you a little bit, they threaten you a little bit, and you change your position and you stand. So those are the 4 areas of discovering your leadership purpose. You have to be self-aware of your strength and your limitations and your triggers. You have to be transparent, take in criticism. You have to balance between your work and yourself and your family, if you have one. You have to have moral courage. When it is right, stand up for it. Even if you are the only one in the room left standing, keep asking for what you're asking for. Next slide, Beryl. So we will go to breakout rooms for 5 minutes. 5 to 6 minutes. I think that's enough to discuss. And the case study here is this one. Maria is a community advocate working on TB awareness. She discovers that women in her community avoid the health clinic because of judgmental attitudes from some staff. Maria knows the clinic director personally and doesn't want to create conflict, but she also knows women are suffering. So the clinic director is the perpetrator here. Maria knows this person, yeah, at a personal level, but she also doesn't want to create conflict, but she knows women are suffering. How can Maria lead in purpose in this situation? Remember the 4 areas that we just spoke about. Go and discuss using the 4 areas of leading with purpose. The 4 areas of self-awareness, transparency, the balance, managing between priority and self-care, and also moral courage. So if you are Maria, what would you do? So I think Beryl or Charlotte will lead us to the breakout rooms. Let's take 5 minutes and come back and present.
How many groups? 3?
I think 3 is enough. 3 is enough, yeah.
Okay. The rooms are open. You've been assigned randomly, so please join the rooms and discuss.
the
Do you get me? Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I think we are all back.
Thank you, Beryl. Thank you, Beryl. So we will now listen to the presentations.
We will start with group 1. Deborah, are you able to present, please?
Okay. Hello everyone.
Hi.
Okay, for group 1, we agreed that firstly Maria is supposed to go to the clinic and then request for permission to be able to educate and train the healthcare workers in that particular clinic on human rights, most especially when it comes to the stigmatization and discrimination on TB. And then also we're looking at the moral courage. That's the fourth one. We are picking the fourth one, which is the moral courage. So also we look at intervene other patients from other hospitals as well. Then playing it there while educating the healthcare workers in that clinic, ensuring for them to know the effects of stigmatization on women, and then making it clear for them to understand that clinics can be free from stigmatization. We can have a stigma-free and non-discriminatory quality services in the clinic. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. Who is presenting on behalf of group 2?
Okay, I'm presenting on behalf of group 2. And we had the following points, that Maria should confront the director privately and talk to him or her concerning human rights and stigma and discrimination. And then Maria, being that she works at the clinic, she should hold a joint session at the TB clinic and facilitate on stigma and discrimination, so that any other person who is stigmatizing or discriminating the clients should learn at least 1 or 2. And overall, we saw that Maria has all the resources to bring to an end this stigma and discrimination. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Millicent, on presenting on behalf of group 2. Last but not least, let's swiftly move to group 3. Who is presenting?
I am presenting. Hi.
All right.
My name is
Hi,
Ntabele. Yes, my name is Ntabele. So the first one that we highlighted from my group is the moral courage that Maria has to have because Maria is placed at the community to advocate for the rights and the needs of the community women. So after realizing the challenge, despite knowing the director personally, we believe that she had to stand for what is right and work on her courage to confront the director on the challenge that is facing her community. Because in our daily experience, you find that we just toughen up to address issues that we would on a normal basis be afraid to address. But because we know that we are representing the needs of those people who really need the services, we have to stand up for them and confront the challenge. The other point that we raised is finding the balance. As much as finding the balance in this regard, it doesn't quite seem to make sense. But I think one of my colleagues will try to explain it clearly so that we understand, because she was trying to explain it so that we also understand, but the network was bad. But we'll come to it a bit later. The other one that I discovered personally, because we had to cut because of the limited time, it is the self-awareness. That means Maria knows her strengths in the position that she has, which is being an advocate. But now, since she can't address the situation because of the relations they're having with the director, I think it is high time maybe to approach one of the advocates in the community doing the same work as she, or maybe the person who's brave enough, even if it is one of the women, to go and maybe address the issue with the director, because now she's afraid. Or maybe they might go as 2 or 3 people if she can't even go alone. She has to admit that at this point she's afraid of the director because of the personal relations, but the problem has to be addressed. She has to, or maybe share the problem with somebody else who will be braver enough to face the director. That is my take. And the last one is that Maria should be transparent. I think it is already going hand in hand with the moral courage that we talked about, that she should be honest despite the situation that is in, or now the environment that she's in. Because if she will work like that if she has relations, or maybe she likes a person, she would just cover the problems that the person is bringing, or she will just cover any loopholes that the person is having. It won't work as an advocate. So she has to be transparent in all cases, that relations can be part of her work. She has to overlook that for the sake of the benefit of the whole community. Thank you. I would ask Ivy to come in to maybe say something about finding the balance. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think for the balance, I was saying that Maria needs to wait between her relationship and the needs of the community, and then try to find a way to tell the director that this issue, particularly the needs of the community, has to come before their relationship, because it's kind of an emergency or urgency situation. I think they might find a way. And also we're talking about a collaborative solution between the community and the way to deal with the director. I think the balance lays there, and also it kind of protects the relationship. And then I was about to say, if the relationship is so personal and strong, I think the director will find that the needs of the community must come before anything else, because for the greater good. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. So from your comments, and I really like how you guys have really dissected this topic. From your comments, it's very clear that leadership is not straightforward. Leadership is not very straightforward. That's why we must focus on the why. Why are you doing it? How do you overcome challenges? When do you stop? When do you insist? When do you let others take the lead? So those are coming out very, very clearly in the case of Maria. Let's move to the next slide and dig deep into overcoming barriers with authentic leadership. So Maria's story tells us that it's never smooth all the way. Sometimes you meet barriers. So I just put a few barriers here, but we get as vast barriers as there can be. So in overcoming barriers with authentic leadership, some of the common barriers and authentic responses. So sometimes you have limited resources. You really need to help someone, and maybe you don't have the means to help someone. And so the authentic response will be building coalitions, being transparent about constraints, and finding creative solutions. When you focus on your why, you get creative about the how. So you know the why. The why is the women need to be treated better. So the how is where Maria needs to be very creative about. So if you know that, sometimes relationships also help us. If you know someone who knows someone who knows someone. So Maria knows this person. Maybe because the person knows Maria and they want to look good in front of Maria, they can listen to Maria. And maybe by Maria raising this, the person can also feel that Maria is attacking them, and it can sour up their relationship. So how then do we get creative about the how? So the resources do not only mean money, it means people, because the resource Maria had here was this healthcare worker. And because he can make decisions. So that is a resource for Maria. I know someone who can make a decision. If I approach this person, then we are able to solve the problem that the women are facing. But is that person approachable? Will it sour her relationship? What can she do? Can she trade off her relationship with this person so that the women can get better service? And if she trades off her relationship, will the women get better services? So there's a lot of need for strategy. Or because I know this guy and I know he'll not take it nicely, maybe let me let my colleague go and talk to him. So it depends on how the situation is. But limited resources calls us for the authentic response is to build coalitions for what you cannot offer, and also focus on why and get creative about the how. The other one is cultural resistance. So our sometimes the cultures differ, and you find yourself at a place where the culture may not be favoring the women. So the authentic response to cultural resistance will be meeting people where they are, sharing personal stories, and building trust slowly. Like, for example, we have areas in Kenya where if you want to reach the women, you must reach the husbands. A woman cannot make decisions about their lives or their health. They cannot deliver in hospitals. They cannot go for contraceptives. The husbands must give permission. And most of them are not educated beyond primary school. So they're always at home taking care of children. If they're girls, they get married very early. So for you to get into this area, you have to first of all talk to the men and let them understand why you're doing, give them the facts, and then let them have a conversation with you. If you get a buy-in through them, then you can get the women. So if you try and fight this system, then you don't get anywhere. So you can use as much money, you can insult, you can, do anything, but you will not get anywhere. So some of those barriers can be overcome by respecting that culture while advocating for change. You'll respect it, they'll give the women permission to come to hospital, but since you have created a rapport with them, you can go back to them and tell them, how about if you just let these women decide on their own about these issues that affect their health? And then slowly you try to change that culture. But first of all, you have to get an entry point by respecting their culture before they allow you into their cycle, and then you can bring change while you're inside there. Another one is when you're facing challenges with gender discrimination, the authentic response would be to find allies, name the problem clearly, and be persistent. Be persistent with grace. So your purpose is to change these systems for future generations, because you're already living in that area of gender discrimination. But you sometimes cannot fight yourself. You cannot fight alone. So you have to find allies, people who also are decision makers, or who can help, or who know the decision makers. And then we have to name the problem clearly. You know, sometimes you always say, oh, there's a lot of gender inequality, but we are not naming the problem. So the person on the other side says, well, me, I'm looking around and I'm not seeing that animal called gender inequality, but I know very well that I will not allow my daughter to go to school. But they don't understand that as gender inequality. So sometimes it's good to name the problem as it is, in a way that the community understands, and then you clearly keep talking about it, but with a lot of grace, so that you're not very aggressive, and you're letting people understand and begin to think about changing. You know, sometimes when you tell someone something over and over and over, they start analyzing. They're like, that stubborn girl came back again, and she said the same thing. Oh, I've seen that girl again. Let's close the door so that she doesn't come in. But again, they start thinking through, why is she so persistent? Why does this matter to her so much? And then in the process, they can then correct the vice. Next slide. So you can build, if you want to be very intentional, you can build your action plan. When you're building your leadership action plan, step one, you create the purpose statement. So we tried doing that. It can be this: I lead in health advocacy because. So you can say, I lead because every woman deserves access to healthcare without fear or shame. Or I lead because my grandmother died from preventable causes and no other family should experience that loss. Or my sister died from preeclampsia, so no other family should experience that loss. That's why I lead. I lead because my cousin died out of cervical cancer, and therefore no other woman should suffer that cause. So we need to start from what is your purpose. And we had mentioned some of it on chat as we were starting. Some of our purpose, we had mentioned it on chat. So that purpose is what will lead you to develop your action plan. And then after you've built your purpose, you start building your leadership action plan. What is your action plan? What do you want to do? So here is where you choose your values that guide your leadership, and you write on one specific action for each. So you choose one. You can have 3 values, you can have 4, but you don't need to have a long list. The values that really, really are most important for you. So for example, if your value is compassion, then your action will be listening to community member stories before designing programs. You know, some of us, when we see a call for proposal, we quickly run to designing the program and writing the whole proposal without really listening to what communities really want. So if you're a leader whose values are compassion, you will then say, there's this call for proposal, but I have to listen to what people want before I submit to the call. And then if your value is justice, then you advocate for policy changes that address root causes. So if you are looking for gender justice, or justice to mothers who are criminalized, or justice to children who cannot access malaria services, you have to advocate for policy changes and address root causes. Why are these children still dying of malaria when we have solutions? Maybe the government is not investing enough, or maybe they don't care, or maybe the budget is not adequate. So what should I do? Maybe we need more resources. I always see people saying that they want to do domestic resource mobilization so that they get more money to do the work in the community. But you look at it sometimes and you realize the challenge here is not money. It is using money correctly. It is in investing in the right things. And so maybe the government is not investing in the right thing. I need to review the strategic plan of our country and see if we are really investing in the right things. Maybe your value is collaboration. Some of the actions could include other women's voices in decision making. You want to collaborate with other organizations. So depending on your value, then you build your action plan as a leader. Beryl, your slides went away.
Yes, our power went off. I'm trying to share again.
Let me try and see if I can share from my end. No, I can't. I joined through the web, whatever, so I can't share my whatever. But let's just continue. So the third step, the third step is, the first step was to identify your why. Then the second one was to identify your values. And then you come to the third step. What is one thing that you'll do differently in your advocacy work based on today's session? Like today you have learned, I have to be intentional in my leadership. It's not just a roller coaster. I have to really know where I'm taking. You know, you are a head of a department or you're leading a section. I told you leadership is anywhere. You are even a program assistant. That is now your area of leadership. You have to deliver there. So you are, we're on building your leadership action plan. So you are on, we have done purpose statement. We go to the next one. We have done the values. Now we are on the third one. Yeah. What is one thing that you'll do differently in your advocacy work based on today's session? I want to give us 1 minute to type on chat. What is that one thing that you'll do differently? Yes, thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Millicent. Millicent will lead with a purpose. Yvonne saying finding the balance and saying that and staying connected to the why. Yeah. That is very critical. Why am I here? Even if it is a job, why am I doing this job? And then once you find the reason, the why, now you stay connected to the why. Despite of all the challenges, you stay connected to the why. Natasha, balancing. Oh, Natasha, I learned my lessons the hard way. I beat more than I could chew. But civil society, they make us slaves. And you know, I've seen from my friends who have passed on, who have died or become, when you burn out, your brain stops to function, whose brains have stopped to function, and they are replaced the next minute. Taleng, you'll be self-aware so that what I can't necessarily do, someone else can do. Yeah. Delegating, task shifting, finding a balance, self-awareness with clear sense of purpose, self-awareness, since sometimes I forget myself and also the why of it all. Yeah, Simfiwe. So self-awareness is critical. The why is very important. Finding a balance is very important. And values. Albertina said, will be compassionate and ensure community voices in my leadership and work. That is one thing we forget sometimes. I'll give you a little story of this guy in Kenya who wanted to build a well for women who wanted water. And so it was this religious organization. So they really went and they saw women going long distances for water. And then they started sinking wells. They were sinking wells around the women so that women don't suffer. They were really pitiful for the women because the women have woken up, they have done their house chores. Now they have to go very far for water. They thought it was too much, so they started sinking wells for them. And even after the wells were commissioned and they were launching water, we are not yet there, Beryl. After the wells were commissioned and they were launching water and they were giving water, the women still went far distances. So that way, the man asked them, but I brought you water near. Why are you going far? And they said, we go far because we need to gossip. We need time out of the busy schedule of our families. So during the time for fetching waters, we go to the rivers. That is when we find our me time. That is when you can chat with your friends. You can do a little gossip here and then. So this was a wasted investment because they did not listen to the needs of the community. They thought the women needed wells nearby, but the women needed to go to the far river so that in between walking for 1 hour, they can chat with each other. So listening to the needs of the community, it is very important. Thank you very much. We are noting down all the comments. And then how do you, next slide, how do you sustain? You know, purpose-driven leadership is it's not easy like we have seen. So how do you sustain? So leading with purpose requires ongoing renewal. It just doesn't come automatically. You have to convince yourself, I know this is hard. I know I have faced challenges. I know not everyone is happy with me, but I have to keep leading in this way. So what step would you say? What steps will help you stay connected to your why? Like what Ivy said, she'll stay connected to her why. So what steps will make you stay connected to your why? Number one, self-care practices that work for busy advocates. We are busy, we do advocacy, we do paperwork, we do everything. So what is that self-care practice that will work for us? The second one is how to find and maintain supportive relationships. You need to have self-care. You need to have supportive relationships. I wish someone told me this when I was young because I have seen fire in this field. So you need to have supportive relationships. Number three, you need to celebrate small victories. When Millicent got that woman medicine, she should have celebrated. That is a victory. We don't celebrate ourselves enough. We bring change, we toil, we work without limit, but we don't celebrate the small victories that we get. And then the fourth one, you need to find a way to deal with setbacks and disappointments because they will come. That is a given. Setbacks will come, disappointments will come. How do you deal with these setbacks and disappointments? Next slide. So we'll begin with the self-care that actually works for real life. They say that you can't pour from an empty cup, sister. Your cup has to be full for you to pour out of it. So when it is empty, you have to find a way of filling it up again before you pour out of it for other people. So we always call them the 2-minute magic moments. They're called morning power ups. So when in the morning, you can have what we call the gratitude gulp. Say one thing you are grateful for while drinking your first sip of water. I know many of us, we drink water in the morning as the first thing we do. And if you don't do, please try and manage that. It's a nice way of detoxing. You wake up in the morning and the first meal becomes water. Some people add lemon to it. Some people add other different things, but let's have the morning water. So when you're having the morning water, say one thing that you're grateful for. Oh, I'm grateful for this day, or I'm grateful that I'm still beautiful, or I'm grateful, just be grateful about one thing. There's always one thing to be grateful about, even in the darkest moments. And then there's the mirror pep talk. When you are grateful for one thing in the morning, even if it's just to see sunshine or to see your lovely dress that you're about to wear, just be grateful. And then you do the mirror pep talk. When you're all dressed up and you're looking beautiful, go and tell yourself, good morning, beautiful change maker. Yes, say it loud. Look at that mirror and say hi to the person on the mirror. And then there's the victory stretch. Reach out your arms up high, like you just want something, like that. Because you're alive. And that's winning. So that's the 2-minute magic moments. You took your water and you are grateful for one thing. You looked into the mirror and said hi to that beautiful change maker. And then you stretch your hands and thanked some people thank their stars, some people thank their God, some people thank, whatever you want to thank. That's enough. That's a good self-care to begin your day with. Then midday reset buttons. At midday, when you faced during the morning hours at work is when you face all the things that are coming for the day. You already know your day by 10 a.m. So by midday, you can phone a friend, text, be yourself despite the busy schedule. Just text someone and say, thinking of you, a quick thinking about you message to someone you care about or a friend. You can also do, that is the phone a friend text. That is a good break and self-care. The other one would be the bathroom break meditation. So go to the loo and just take 3 deep breaths. Very relaxing. The loo, why? Because you want a private place to feel at peace. Imagine on your desk if someone found you doing the breath and they will be like, what is happening? So you have to start explaining. So just get a quiet place, a private place. If you have your own office, you don't share offices, you can do it there. And then the snack attack celebration. Treat yourself to a nice snack. Eat something yummy and taste it. There are moments when you eat something that you just want to swallow, like pepper soup. Pepper soup, you just want to swallow it because it's the way it's prepared, and then you start thinking about it later that that was nice, but you just swallowed. Take a snack that you enjoy. You put it in your mouth and you taste it and you enjoy it. That is another good break. Or the break, the other break we call is the fresh air fake vacation. You go outside your office building, assume you're in Moldova, or you are somewhere in the coastal part of Kenya, or you are in the Maldives, or you are in Miami, and just close your eyes for 60 seconds, assume you're in Miami, and take in that scenario or scenery for 60 seconds. That helps. It may not be junk food. It could be nice sweet strawberries or oranges or some nice juicy apple or peanuts. I know bad food is always very tasty and nice. Some ice cream or some soda or junk, they're usually more delicious. But sometimes we can do this in a healthy way. And then we have the evening wind downs. In the evening when you've finished your relaxing, you can reflect on what made you smile today. Even tiny things count. Or maybe when you're doing your fake vacation, someone spotted you and took a photo of you, and they bring for you and ask you what were you fantasizing about. So that can be, it can make you smile, So think about what made you smile. So if you're worried about something, there are things you do and then you go like, shit, I messed up. So that thing, or you're called out for messing up the whole team. You delayed and you messed up the whole team. And that thing eats you up for hours and hours. It's eating you up. When you reach home, put it on paper and pack it away. It's called the worry packing lot. Put it and say, hey, mistakes, whatever it is, even if you are to answer to the management, I'll do that tomorrow. So for now, I'll forget it. I'll put it on paper. I have packed it away. I'm not thinking about it. And then there's also the comfort costume change. Put on your softest, most comfortable clothes when you get home. Don't still try thinking through your worries on that pair of jeans and a tight belt. And sometimes you fall asleep in it. Just get comfortable and say, whatever went nice today, I celebrate. Whatever went wrong, I pack it, I'll hand it tomorrow. Then put on your softest cloth. Most Kenyans would just put on dera on a naked body and they feel very comfortable. And then they sleep. The dera is like, in Nigeria, I had it being called bobo. Something, is it buibui or bobo? But it's of a very soft fabric. Next slide.
Bubu.
Bubu. That one. A very soft fabric bubu without anything underneath, and then you feel so fresh and take your nap and pick your problems again tomorrow morning. Another way would be the weekly treats that don't break a bank. Go out and dance like nobody's watching, because sometimes they're probably not watching. So just on a weekend, after the week of stress, because sometimes I check in on you guys and you tell me my week was very stressful. So after that very stressful week, your report was late, your manager yelled at you, everything did not seem to work, every deal went sour. Go out and dance to your favorite music. Go to the club that you love most. That will not make you break a bank. You don't have to go to an expensive place, but where they play your most favorite music. Like for me, I would go to an old school where they're playing old school and dance like nobody's watching. Even if some people say, when you're dancing not to the rhythm, they tell you you're dancing to the next music. So even if you're dancing to the next music, dance like nobody's watching. Even if you're dancing like you have two left legs, dance like nobody's watching. And then another one is called the solo date. So the solo date is taking yourself somewhere nice, even if it's just a different walk in the park or admiring nature. Just give yourself a date. It doesn't have to be done by anyone. It doesn't have to be expensive either. Just take yourself somewhere nice, even if it is a park, or even if it is those there are places like in Kenya you call Uhuru Park, or like somewhere fancy, just somewhere nice, somewhere relaxing, near a forest or near the waterfall. Just take yourself there and sit and talk to yourself and appreciate yourself. Then there's the skill swap. Get your friend, teach them something, maybe you know how to boil eggs, and then they'll teach you how to boil water for tea. So oh, you've been to Uhuru Park, yeah. So someone can take herself to Uhuru Park and just look at how people are enjoying, and you sink yourself into the atmosphere and you find yourself relaxed. Then you can teach someone something. There are people I have a friend who told me the only food she can cook is boiling eggs and boiling water for tea. Yeah. So Natasha, you can go and teach someone how to boil water, then they'll teach you how to boil eggs in that water, and you've taught each other something new, and then you laugh about it and the day ends. That is weekend when you have some time off. And then there's the nature therapy session. Some people are moved by nature. When the wind is blowing, the trees are shaking, the birds are chirping, and the river is flowing with a harsh voice, they feel very, very relaxed. Unfortunately, I'm not moved by nature. Sometimes we pass through greenery and people are like, oh, this is so amazing. And I'm like, there are no snakes in that forest. We are looking for, that place must have snakes. But people are looking at, oh, it's so green, it's so amazing. So I'm not really moved by nature. But there are people who, when they see nature, some green trees and stuff, they feel very relaxed. You can take the nature therapy session. Or you can do the creative mess. Draw, Sing, even if you are singing with 4 voices at a go. Cook, write. Me, I crochet. I crochet when listening to silly podcasts and laughing at the silliness and the jokes. So just make something just for joy, something that gives you joy. That's another way of winding your weekend after leading in such a terrible, terrible society. Next slide. So we need to set boundaries. We really need to set boundaries as leaders. So when people ask of you, sometimes we are stretched. There is a day I realized I only have a lot of many halves I have done. I was doing this and someone asked, Maureen, please translate for me this. It's really pretty small. I look at it, it's 3 paragraphs. I leave what I was doing and I start translating for them. And then someone else say, oh, there's this interesting call. Please join the Zoom call. I leave that translation again. I join Zoom call. And at the end of the day, I'm a mess. I have many halves because I didn't know how to say no. So we need to say no when we can't. We need to have boundaries. There are magic phrases you can use. Let me check my energy levels and get back to you. If they tell you, please do this for me by today, please check your energy levels. If by evening you're tired, you say, I can only do it tomorrow, if that is still okay with you. Because you're tired and you need to go and wind down. Your brain needs to continue functioning. You don't need to stress your brain. You can also tell them, I'm at capacity now, but here is someone who may help you. Hand it over to someone else. Then you can also ask, that sounds important. When is the deadline? Then check your calendar. Do you have time to do it within the deadline? And then you can also prioritize your work. Say, I care about this issue and I need to prioritize my current commitments. So you need to see how you balance the issue that someone has brought in and your commitments. If it's really of importance, then you can see how you can create time for it. But being a yes, even when your boss gives you work, sometimes we give you and we forget we gave you the other one, so we give you another one, and before this other one is done, we're asking for the other one, and then we have given you the third one. So you need to just come back and say, hey, you gave me this piece of work, I'm still working on it. Can I stop it and do this one first, or can I finish that one? And so create boundaries. Let them know that you're still working on something else. It will not kill you. You will not be sacked for saying, I'm still working on what you gave me before and you're giving me another one. Like for me, sometimes I have 5 bosses. This one has given you this one, this one, this one, this one. But sometimes I've learned to tell them, I'm still working on what I was given, but it looks urgent. Maybe let me do yours tomorrow. That way. And then you strike a balance. And then there is the phone freedom moves. There's this devil that came called a mobile phone. It is an angel and a devil at the same time because it takes away our time. You're out with friends and you're chatting because your boyfriend will get mad at you if you don't keep updating him that you're still alone and nobody has hit on you. You're like, hey babe, we are here, and then you take a selfie. Oh baby, you're eating, selfie, so that he can see it's food you're eating. And then within time you're dancing, you're still taking a selfie with your friends for babe to see that you're still with your friends. So we need to have time down or time off phones. I have learned to do that, but usually I get 480 WhatsApp messages, but it's okay. I start dealing with the important ones. But I've learned that it's true, you can stay out of your phone. And sometimes there's a time you would send me message on WhatsApp at midnight and it would do tititi, and I would open my eyes and read and respond. But nowadays you can even send me a message today and you get it tomorrow evening, because if I have my phone downtime, then I will not be able to see your WhatsApp. So you can have silent Sundays or 1 day a week for work notification. Get a timeout. So everyone who sends you work related, and nowadays I've structured myself. If it is not urgent, I don't take work notifications on Sunday. Even if you send me text, I'll read it, but I'll keep it in a notebook so that I remember to respond to you on Monday. So you can do for me on Saturday, Maureen, did you send the newsletters out? And I'm like, today is Saturday. Okay, I'll answer about the newsletters. Then there'll be another nudge. You blue ticked me, and then I'll just let it. And then when it comes to Monday, I'll say, sorry, I saw your message on Saturday, but I was taking an off from work. So yes, I have sent the newsletters and I did not blue tick you. It's only that I don't respond to work-related issues on Saturdays. Just try to be a bit more disciplined, a bit more balanced. Otherwise, you will develop burnout and they'll replace you. Or you'll be working and not delivering to scale because your body and your brain are tired and they will replace you. They'll say, oh, you no longer deliver. You did not deliver on this. This was late. This was not done. And they replace you. Then there are people who check messages at different time. For example, I do mine at 9 and 4 p.m. For emergencies, people call. So I don't read my messages all the time. I have a couple of them here because I've done my 9 a.m. message checking. I'll do again at 4 p.m. My family know if they're looking for me. They write a message and flash. Then I will know it's an emergency. Another thing I've learned to do is no work phones after 8 p.m. or whatever works for your schedule. Because I realized I used to put after 5 p.m. Then I realized there are some, because of time differences, sometimes the people in America want to have a Zoom call with you and it goes beyond 7 p.m. So I put after 8 p.m. Even if they invite me to meetings that will go beyond 8 p.m., I tell them I can only join until 8 p.m. and then I stop. And it's very liberating. When you get a burnout, it's difficult to recover. I got my burnout in December. I'm still struggling to get back to who I was before the burnout. So don't get there. Next slide. In this journey, chick, you need a squad. You need friends. You need your quorum. In Kenya, we say you need your quorum. You need people around you. You need your friends and enemies. Because if it's advocacy work, you need a movement. You need people. So they say it takes a village to raise a movement. Finding your people, aka tribe hunting. So how do you find people? There are people you really want to make friends with. And you meet them in meetings, you meet them in forums, but you don't say hi. You are hoping one day they'll say hi to you. Oh, chick, make that move. So there is the coffee connection strategy. Start small. Ask someone, you want to grab tea and talk about our work sometime? Maybe you're just in a conference and you really admire this person. She's done an amazing work or he's done an amazing work. And you can just tell them, hey, I really appreciate the work you do. You want to grab tea and talk about our work sometimes. So when it's tea time, both of you will not stay with where people are. You can go to a corner. Or if it's a person who works in your office block, you can have tea sometime in the cafeteria or somewhere in your Java or your Nando's, wherever you always go. Or the other one for coffee is called what? Starbucks. So be the first to reach out. Courage is contagious. If you reach out and look at someone in their eyes and ask them out for tea, they'll most likely accept. After giving them a firm handshake, don't greet people like you're smearing dirt on their hand. Give them a firm handshake, look at them in the eyes, and ask, would you want to have coffee sometime to discuss work? That is even how some people get funding. That is the courage they grab with a donor in a meeting or somewhere else. Ask them genuine questions. If there are people you want to learn from, ask them what keeps you motivated. I have seen you over the years doing an amazing work and you're still a marvelous advocate. What keeps you motivated? What has been your biggest challenge? So don't go there saying, fumbling and waiting for them to bring a story, yet you are the one who called them. So you've brought them to coffee. They've agreed to have coffee with you. And then you reach there and you want them to set the agenda. No, you must start a conversation somewhere and talk about them, ask them about them. That's a good way of starting a conversation. And then share your real story, not just your highlight reel. We sometimes want to put the best foot forward. You can tell them, I'm an emerging leader, I'm going through TB Women Leadership Project, but there's a lot of things I really want to learn. What would you tell me? Talk about your story. That is the coffee connection strategy. The other one is where your people hang out. If your people hang out in training workshop, that is a bonus. You're already learning something. If there are community events like health meetings, women's gathering, and church meetings, target them there. Online groups, you are always in this Google group, like some of the groups that Civil Society for Malaria Elimination shares their webinars and stuff with. So sometimes I see I'm tagged to someone interesting, and then I reach out to them on the side and say, hey, could we talk malaria? And then there are volunteer opportunities. And then even in a supermarket line, the Americans call it a grocery store. We call it supermarket. Strike a conversation with someone at the airport, in the queue. Strike a conversation with someone. You're building your squad. Advocacy is about numbers. It's about relationships. You could meet someone who knows someone you want to know. Next slide. So after you've built a relationship, they always say that meeting friends is easy, but keeping them is the challenge. So it is like a garden of roses where you have to water them, you have to talk to them. I used to have an aunt who talked to her flowers. In the morning, you'd come and say, oh, Lily. Now she is talking to the lilies. Oh, Lily, you are so happy today. I brought you water. And then he'll go to Rose. Rose, why are you dull? Here, I brought you some water and a little bit of fertilizer. Please, I want you to bloom. So she would talk to her flowers as she waters them. So that is how relationships are. We have to keep those connections growing. So you meet someone in the workshop, you exchange numbers. Some people took my numbers. No, they've never even greeted me. So you can do things like check-in text. Hey, how was your week? Thinking of you. Some people, Ivy, you're laughing. Not even hi, not even that. That emoji of like this. They haven't even sent an emoji. So you can talk to people. How was your week? If you're close enough, then you can say thinking of you. If you told me you are thinking of me, I would go like, really? And then you can also share resources. Sometimes you find something interesting that is similar to what you people know about each other. So you can say, oh, I saw this and thought of you. It can be an article, an opportunity, or a funny meme. Or you can encourage, or the encouragement bomb. You just share a random compliment or affirmation to someone. Oh, you are such an amazing person. Keep up the good work you're doing. That really melts the people away, and it keeps their friendship to you. And then that is the weekly one where you have a few friends you don't want to lose, so you can always send them there. Some of you, your inboxes are, your, what are they called, phone books are full. They're full of people's numbers, but you're always waiting for them to reach out to you. You never reach out to them, but collecting cards and numbers, that's your hobby. Oh, could I have your number? Please, can I have your card? People have printed cards for you, but they've never heard from you. Keep those friendships. You never know when they help. And then there's the monthly fertilizing. That is now the longer catch up. You've stayed away from each other, your friends. Call and meet for real conversations, or meet on WhatsApp, have a chat, you can do the celebration, share, tell them about your wins. And don't tell your enemies about your wins. Don't tell your village people about your wins. You could be telling someone, oh, I got a promotion, and they're like, hey, daughter of so-and-so is getting promotion while my children are driving keke. This one I must finish. So make sure you find out who you are sharing your wins with. It must be someone who celebrates you, so that you share your wins with them and ask about theirs. And then if someone is going through something, offer support. Someone has your friend, someone you have related with, they're maybe in this same cohort with you. You hear they've lost someone, and then you just send a sad emoji and you're done. Reach out and ask, how can I help? Is there anything I can do? You have a shoulder to cry on. Next slide. So as a leader, these are the squad members, your quorum. In Nairobi, we say your quoro. These are the people you need around you. Number one, you must have a cheerleader who always believes in you and celebrates your win. You know, that one who fights for you and then they later come and tell you, anyway, I fought for you, but here you are wrong. That cheerleader, the one who goes, yeah. You enter a room and you've given a very, very useless speech and they go clapping and clapping and clapping and even standing up to give you an innovation. You need that friend, that one who just paints you, you know, in Kiswahili we say anakupaka mafuta. She just gives you the best part of you. You need that one in your quorum. You must have one of those ones. The one even when you are dressed and your clothes are not coordinating, they'll tell you, oh, you look fabulous as usual. Meanwhile, your clothes are not coordinating. Everyone in the hood is wondering what's happening to you. But them, they tell, oh, they've made you a hairstyle that looks like you have two heads. But this one will tell you, you look amazing. You need that cheerleader in your quorum. The other person you need is a truth teller. Most truth tellers are serious people. They're never like smiling and, you know, they're always just looking at you and telling you, I don't think you should have done that, you know. Or you're in a Zoom call and you finish and they've already sent you a text. You made a mistake with your numbers. Or your head was always cut. It was above the screen all the time. Or your face was on us. We could not even see anything else because your face was on the screen. Next time, please move back a bit. So you'll have that truth teller. That one you must also have in your quorum. Oh, the dress you wore to the meeting was too short. You kept pulling it down. Why can't you wear a dress that you're comfortable with, that you'll not keep pulling down? Then there's this practical helper that you need. This one offers services. Oh, I want to go there. It's okay. I can come and stay with your babies. Or I need this. I can take you. I know where they are sold cheaply. This one is always like offering themselves to you. They are called practical helpers, and we have them. So they're always there to do your stuff. Those ones too, don't undermine them. You need them in your life. And then you need the fun police who reminds you to laugh and not take everything too seriously. You're calling them and saying that, hey, I was on Zoom and I hit the video button accidentally and I was in the toilet. She laughed out aloud. While at that time you're feeling so embarrassed, it was a very serious Zoom meeting and you're inside the toilet and you hit your button. So your video button. So you need those people who make you not sweat the small stuff. Who tell you it's okay. I blundered. I was to start the meeting for all, but I wasn't at my desk at the right time. So I delayed the meeting for all of Nigeria or the whole of Africa. She's like, it's okay. Next time you'll come early. Then he laughed at you. So what happened to you? Why you sacked that? You know, they make things look simpler when they are so hot. And then you need the mentor. Been there, done that, and they share wisdom. The one you go to when you need solutions to some of the things you're facing, or you want their guidance on something. You need that one also in your quorum. And then you need the accountability buddy, the one who helps you track on goals. They tell you, hey, you said you'll enroll on college. Have you done that? How come you've not enrolled? September is here. Please ensure you enroll. You know, so these are the people who are your accountability friends. They help you stay on your track goals. And these are people who are not jealous of you. You can tell them, hey, I'm planning to join college in September, and they'll not feel bad about it. Instead, they'll remind you it's almost end of August. Have you registered? So these are the people that you need in your quorum. Make sure you have at least one of each of the categories as a leader. Next. We must also look at red flags and time to set boundaries. These are the people you should set boundaries for. People who only call when they need something. They'll never do your call unless, hey, I was writing this proposal and I'm stuck. Can I share with you so that you give me feedback? Oh, I need 50 shillings. I haven't had food. They only call, if you scroll your phone, the only time they've talked to you or called you is when they needed help from you. Red flag. The energy vampires who drain you every single time. Oh, they call you with troubles and problems and things that will drain you. Every time they call you, it is about their brother who has been arrested and their sister who is facing trouble. Oh, they applied for college and they were not called. They never call with good news. Maybe they don't ask you for money like the first one, or they don't ask you to help with something. But these energy vampires, they never call with good news. It is always a problem. Oh, this happened to us. Oh, so and so. And they'll take long, and they keep calling, and they take your time, and they talk and talk about their issues that you can't solve. So it drains the energy away from you. I don't know if you've met such people. And then there are those who criticize everything you do, like it's never positive. You do a very nice speech, and then they say, oh, there you should have said this. You write a nice report. I wish it was a bit longer. I wish you did it this way. So for them, it's always wishing you did it differently. And oh, that dress is orange. I wish it was red. Red would have looked better on you. Oh, you've tied your head upwards. I wish you just let it flow down. You know, there are people who will always criticize everything you do, regardless of how good you do it. Red flags. Those are people you don't put inside your heart. And then there's anyone who makes you feel bad about taking care of yourself. Oh, you slept until 11. I don't think it's a good thing to do. Remember, you have work to do, you have deadlines, you have family, you have Why would you sleep all that time? Oh, you went on holiday. Really? And your mom needs money for hospital. Why would you go on holiday when there's an emergency in your family? Oh, you bought yourself a new pair of shoes. But I hear your sister hasn't finished school fees. Red flags. And then there are people who compete instead of collaborate. And to know such people, you'll always tell them, hey, I got enrolled in this college. Yeah, even me, I've applied in this college. And everything you do, they'll always say, even me, I have done this. You tell a story, hey, there's a place I went and they told me that I dressed. Yeah, even me, when I go there, they always tell me I've dressed sharply. Oh, I got a compliment from this. Even me, that day, even me, people, they are competing with you. So you really, really need to watch them. Those are red flags. Let's go quickly. Time is up. So you also need victory lap time. You need to celebrate like you mean it. So if you don't celebrate the small wins, the big ones won't feel as sweet. So make victory dances. The tiny triumph list you can make victory dances for are like when you made someone smile, when you shared important information, you're like, yes, I delivered. When you listened to someone who needed to be heard, you're like, I listened. I'm a good person. Thank you, me. Thank yourself for the little victories. You stood for what is right. You learned something new. You're like, oh, I've done that class 2 hours and on. Yeah. I'm a good person. I took good care of myself over the weekend. I had good rest. I did my whatever. I indulged in something I love. Thank you, me. Next slide. So make sure you celebrate. Next slide. So yeah. So after that, after the victories lads, it is the daily rituals. So you need to do some daily rituals as well. Some of the daily rituals you can do to appreciate yourself is the happy dance. Literally dance for 30 seconds. 30 seconds is not a lot. Just do it. Do it. Feel good about yourself. Then tell someone about your win. Then we are not on that slide yet, Beryl. We are on the previous one. Then treat yourself to a special moment. And then the treating yourself to a special moment. Beryl, I think you've gone far. After treating yourself to a special moment, you can have maybe special tea, favorite snack, pretty notebook. You know, there are moments when I buy a pretty notebook and I feel good about it. I want even to write on it. Yeah, we're on the next slide after this one. And then take a picture of something good that happened. Oh, you know, there's a time I was with some young people and we were having lunch in a conference. It was a very fancy hotel and their plates were so nice and the food was really nicely served. And the first thing they do was take a photo. And I said, oh, nowadays we don't give grace for food, we take photos. They say this is a good moment and I have to keep a proof that I was here, I had this meal. So take that photo. Don't feel bad about taking it. And then the weekly win celebrations, look back at your week and be proud. Like today is a Friday, look back at what you did from Monday. Be proud of yourself. Brag to someone who is close to you. Do one thing just for joy. Like today, I'm in Malawi and my friends and I are going dancing in the evening. So I'll dance like no one is seeing me. After all, the Malawi people don't know me. And then write a note to yourself about how far you've come. And then three big win blowouts. Sometimes when you get something, a promotion or something, or you've gained some knowledge, or you've graduated, anything, please share success stories and meetings. At meetings. Oh, when you're introducing yourself, you can say, oh, and last week I gave a talk where our Minister for Health was, and I got a standing ovation. Tell people, give yourself the flowers. Create a visual reminder of impact. Some people have photo walls where they go to a nice place, they take a photo, they put on the wall. So their wall in their rooms have a mirage of the different things they have worn. And then thank people who have supported you, and also share a meal. It's your birthday. Yeah, you can afford to make us a meal, and invite us over. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate every little thing you have. And then next, what really counts as winning? Because I've been talking about celebrating wins. So we're in the next slide, Beryl. Having a hard conversation and staying kind. For me, that is a win. Like, it's a really hard conversation. I didn't interrupt. I stayed kind. That's a win for me. Asking for help when you need it is also a win. For me, it is. Setting a boundary and sticking to it. Woo, that for me is a win. Learning from a mistake, another win. I would say, today I decided to agree to learn from a mistake. That's a win. Showing up even when you're tired, it's a win. Admitting you don't know something, that's another win. Making someone feel less alone, that's a win. So next slide, bouncing back from setback. Sometimes we fall. How do we come back? So you fall 7 times, you stand up 8 times and look fabulous doing it. So never let a fall shake you. So when things go sideways, because they will, the first 24 hours, it's called the emergency protocol. Feel all the feelings. Cry, rant, punch a pillow, tear your bra. Emotions need motion. So make a motion. It's okay. And then call your person, the one who lets you be real and messy. You know, that one who compliments you even when you have 2 heads from the salon. Call that person and tell them how you're feeling. And then do the basics. Eat something, drink water, sleep when you can. For me, sleep helps. So I sleep. And then convince yourself it is temporary and you're stronger than you know. So have a comeback conversation with yourself. What can I control right now? If it is something you can't control, let it not kill you. I always tell my staff, don't sweat the small stuff. What would I tell a friend in this situation? Then tell it to yourself. How might this redirect me towards something better? There is always light at the end of the tunnel. What am I learning about myself through the challenge? So learn a lesson from the challenge. Next slide. So I'll give you a recipe for resilience. You must have a cup of perspective. Remember your why, the reason you started this work. Look at photos, reminders of people you have helped. Read old thank you messages or positive feedback. Connect with mentors who have survived similar storms. So that's the cup of perspective when you're coming out of this challenge, or oops, I call it oops. The next one is a tablespoon of action. Do one small thing towards your goal. Help someone else. It gets this thing out of your head. And then learn one new skill related to your challenge. and make one connection that might help. A pinch of self-compassion. Talk to yourself. You would talk to yourself like you talk to a beloved friend. And then remember, setbacks don't mean you are not cut out for this work. People make mistakes. Progress isn't linear. Maybe the mistake is so gross as to you are the one who was to submit the project proposal that would get your organization out of shit. And then you thought you hit send and you did not. And then the following morning you open and the proposal is looking at you because you did not send it. Don't die out of that. You are allowed to be human while being a hero. Next slide. The plot twist perspective. What if the setbacks are actually training sessions for bigger challenge ahead? Maybe they are redirectional signals pointing you towards better opportunities, or they're strengthening you for resilient muscles. They are a story material. Maybe you'll come back and become a motivational speaker for us on TikTok. Or it is proof that you're brave enough to try difficult things. So the comeback plan template when you are ready to rise again is do a gentle start. Pick one small achievable goal, ask for help if it's not weakness, it's wisdom. Celebrate tiny progresses. Then you will, the learning integration is what will you do differently? That maybe next time you'll be checking 3 times if the email went. You'll be checking the sent button, the sent button, because now you'll have learned from this mistake. What support do you need that you didn't have before? How can this experience help others? Then 3, the strength story. Own your comeback narrative. Share your story when appropriate. Use your experience to mentor others. Next slide. So you also need to have your personal action plan. They have got this edition. The daily non-negotiables is pick 3 things you'll do every day. 1 self-care moment, even if it's tiny, 1 connection with a supportive person, and 1 acknowledgement of progress or victory. So those are daily non-negotiables that you need to have. And then weekly check-ins with yourself is, how am I feeling? Who energized me? Who drained me? What went well this week? What needs adjusting? And then the monthly power reviews. I'm still connected to my why. Are my connections serving me and others well? That is around relationship, around growth. How have I developed as a leader? And then support evaluation. What additional help do I need? So we are almost finalizing. And then you should have an emergency contact list for your soul. That cheerleader is when you need someone to remind you how amazing you are. Oh, that one will cheer you, even if you're walking with like you have 2 left legs. They will cheer you. Even if you are dancing to the next song, they'll tell you how amazing dancer you are. So make sure you have this one when you need someone to remind you how amazing you are. And then you need one wise person when you need perspective and guidance. You need a fun friend. For when you need to laugh and remember life is good. So when you're going for that dance, make sure your fun friend you've tagged your fun friend along so that you guys can have a good laugh from the belly. Then you need a prayer partner for when you need spiritual support and encouragement, regardless of your religion. And then you also need a practical helper when you need actual tangible assistance. List those people. If you don't have, start looking for one, and start creating relationships with them. And then finally, remember, beautiful leader, your work matters so much, but you matter too. Small step will still get you into big destinations. Don't worry about how that your steps are small. Oh, we started this work with so and so, she has moved to this person. No. Let them take their pace. Focus on your pace. However small it is not wrong. It is okay to rest. You're not human. You're not a machine. It is okay to say, today I'm tired, I'm not feeling up to it. Can I get the day off and take a rest? Your story has power. Own it and share it. The world needs your unique gifts and perspectives. So you are needed in this world. You do not have to be perfect to make a difference. Make mistakes and learn from them. Taking care of yourself is taking care of your community. So go out there, change the world, one authentic, purpose-driven step at a time. Thank you.
Wow, that was great.
Wow, thank you so much, Maureen. That was quite a lot. I've really gotten to learn a lot of things as a leader, knowing when to say no. I am guilty as charged, one of the people who say yes, yes, yes. And by the end of the day, I don't even know myself. Thank you so much. That was great. Please, we will take for the next 5 minutes, I think we can do a bit of reactions or inputs from us. This was so great from Maureen. I'm sure we have a lot to share. So let's utilize the 5 minutes and give our reactions from this presentation. The floor is open. Anybody?
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Wow, it was a great session. And what I would say is the last line. Now go out there and change the world. One authentic, purpose-driven step at a time. Thank you very much, Maureen. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Millicent. Any other reaction?
Yes, Beryl.
Yes, Ivana.
Yes, I wanted to say thank you to Lori for the great session. And I think for my personal assignment, I need to review my squad members because I have a lot of red flags. So I think I need to work on that. But I think the good challenge now is now that we have been trained on authentic leaders, it to change our ways, the way we do things, and then do it with purpose. I think this is going to be a good challenge. Thank you, Maureen, for sharing that with us.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Ivana. And I even see we from the chats we see that a lot of us are talking about setting boundaries, which is so important, especially in this work. Yeah, 3 minutes to go. Any other reaction so that I don't leave I don't leave anyone?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Maureen. I liked the part where we talked about self-care because sometimes we forget ourselves and then we become sick because of working too much. And I also like the one where you talked about looking for red flags because, okay, for me, I'm like looking at the things that we were talking about, like the energy vampires. Or it's like we deal with these things every day and we just like take them for granted, yet you find that maybe it does have an impact on ourselves. So thank you so much for also talking about that, because now it's also things that we are also going to look out for and see what we do about it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Albertina, for the input. Any other reactions? All question, by the way. Okay, I'll hand it back to Charlotte, our host, to give us the next steps and oh yes, Rabia.
Yeah, thank you, Barry, and thank you so much, Madam Maureen, for such a wonderful session. I have learned a lot, and I believe the rest of the women who are here also have learned a lot on the balances, the self-awareness, and I know in any kind of leadership we fall, but sometimes you have to stand up so that and we can make things happen no matter what it takes. So that's the purpose. So we really appreciate you for this wonderful session. And now I think that I've rebuilt now my energy, to go and also do something much better than before. This is much appreciated again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rabia. You're welcome. Yeah, if at all we don't have any more, I've seen we've shared also in the chat how we feel and how insightful this session is, and we really hope that now our mindsets have been elevated and we are growing, thriving, and transforming. I'll hand it back to Charlotte to give us the next steps and as we close. Thank you. Over to you, Charlotte.
Thank you so much, Beryl and Maureen. That was very insightful. Given the reactions that we have, the commentaries and everything, it was truly, truly very much needed. Now that we are about to finish, just before we end the meeting, I had sent you guys emails for your self-assessment, and some of your reviewers' emails are not valid. So please kindly check with that. And hey, I've texted you on WhatsApp, so text back, please, and let me know. If you've not received an email, that is probably because you have not sent your reviewers list. So please do that by or before the day ends. And yeah, I think we'll see you at the next meeting. Anyone else who has anything to say, let me know. Say it now or forever hold your peace until we meet next time. But if there's none, I'll see you all next time.
Bye-bye. Lead with purpose.
Correct.
Yeah, of course.
Bye, bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.